Hey, and welcome to my channel. I'm Candace. I'm super happy you're here. Please subscribe if you are into minimalism, simplifying, and just trying to be more mindful in general. That is what this channel is all about. So I've already done several videos on minimalism. I will link a few of them down below if you want to check them out when you're done watching this. Today though, let's talk about money. Specifically, how to not spend it. I've always been a spender. I've loved shopping. I love redecorating. I love buying clothes for the kids specifically, buying toys, all kinds of things, eating out, I mean, you name it, I have loved to buy it my whole life. And recently, finding minimalism and not spending money has taught me, oh my goodness, there is so much joy and freedom to be found in not spending money. So let's talk about some of the ways that you can stop spending money. I know it sounds super hard. I thought so too. But if I can do it, so can you. Let's get started. My very first tip is don't repurchase an item unless the other one or the old one is completely gone. I cannot tell you how many times I bought notebooks, lotions, lip glosses, so many different little things before I used up the old one. And it would just completely clutter up my space, and then nothing ever got fully used. So I feel like I was wasting money. So now I don't repurchase something new until the old one is gone. My next tip is to only shop when you know there's something that you either need or have wanted for a little while. It's something maybe you've sat on or saved for, but I just don't go into stores and shop anymore. I used to just go in because I was bored with my kids. I'd pile them in the car and we'd drive down to TJ Maxx, Old Navy, Target, whatever, and we would just kind of kill time shopping. And always I would end up picking up little things that I did not need. I just thought they were cute, total impulse buys, but now I make sure that I have something very clear in my mind that I need or want before I go into the store, and that has saved me so much time just because I'm not shopping my life away, and obviously B, tons of money. My next tip is to start a needs and a wants list. I have a little bullet journal that I keep all that kind of fun information in for myself to go ahead and look back over, but I sit on things now. I don't just run out and buy it even as soon as I have the money. Maybe I'll have the money for it and just wait, make myself wait, make sure I want it really badly and that it's something that will be super valuable in my life. I have quite a few things on my wants list that I ended up crossing off. One thing, I wanted some head dining room chairs in my dining room, like some really pretty tufted ones. I've been wanting them for about a year. And I just decided, I crossed them off my list. I just decided I don't really want those in the end. I'd rather put the money towards something else. So sometimes sitting on things, even if you have a wants list and it's been sitting there for a long time, sitting on it for a while is a good idea. I guess that's another tip in and of itself. But having your needs and wants list written out is really good. And even with the needs list, sometimes your needs change and you don't actually in the end need that anymore. Now, if it's an emergency, by all means, I'm not saying don't get it, but sometimes the things that we need are also not really crucial or urgent, and we can actually sit on those for a little second as well. And sometimes we just don't even end up needing it. Also, before you go out and buy something, see if you can thrift it, DIY, or even borrow it. I know sometimes borrowing can feel a little bit awkward, but I feel like if you don't borrow too often, if you just borrow things every now and then, I think a good example of this would be like a pack and play for your baby if you're going on a trip, something like that. If you have thrifting options, great thrift stores near you, you can always try and thrift. And then there are tons of DIYs online. Just go to Pinterest and you will be blown away at the things that you can actually make yourself for a fraction of the price. So before you just go out and buy it new, you might want to consider a couple of those options. Another thing that really helps when you're trying not to spend money or as much money is to set a really cool goal. Like one of my goals is to go to Ireland at the end of summer with Cody. That's really motivating for me. I really want to go out there. My sister lives there. I miss her. I want to take this trip. So for me, this big long-term goal is really keeping me motivated in the day-to-day just to cut back on purchases. I love eating out. I love it. Part of this is because I don't love cooking myself as much as I wish I did. I wish I loved it. I just don't. So I really have enjoyed eating out. It's so quick. It's so easy. Like you're not making a big mess in your house, in your kitchen, which is part of the reason I kind of have liked to avoid it in the past. But it adds up quick. So I really tried to do better at meal planning and sticking with it. Buying the groceries that are going to support my meal plan and then not going outside my home just because I'm tired or feeling lazy or I don't want to make a mess in my kitchen, and it has saved us lots of money. Another thing that has worked great for me as I've tried to cut spending is to not carry cash. Some people would say the opposite. It's actually harder to spend cash because you're really aware of that specific dollar amount, and sometimes sliding your card is a lot easier. But for me, if I have cash, I'm just like, hey, the money's there, and I feel a lot more tempted to spend it, and I know it's not going to affect my bank account. Like, that's secure. I know how much is in there. I'll just spend this cash and it won't affect this. So for me, carrying cash doesn't really work. But let me know in the comments, do you carry cash? Does it work for you? Are you the kind of person that will be less likely to spend money if it is in cash, or do you just need to keep cash out of your wallet? I have mentioned this before on my channel, but that is to just unsubscribe. Just free yourself of all of these companies that are trying to get you to spend your money on their product. Just let it go. You just don't need it in your life. You feel that pressure. You know, I get these emails sometimes and it's like your last chance or going, gone. And it kind of like makes you feel like you don't want to miss out, or this is your very last opportunity. You better jump on it. It's just a tactic to get you to spend your money on things that you probably don't need. So just kind of unsubscribe from all of that, and I think you will find yourself spending less money. All right, so I have been someone who will spend money just because I've been bored. As I mentioned earlier, kids, we got nothing to do this afternoon, hop in the car, let's go check out Target, see what they've got new in the dollar spot, and those little items just add up and up and up, especially if you do this a couple times a month. It can really add up to be a lot of money. So what I do is I kind of have a list of ideas of things to do instead of spend money. A lot of them are things that I can do with the kids. Some of them are things that I can just do on my own. So say my toddler's napping, and here I have my computer where I can easily go on Amazon and just buy something that I see that I haven't thought over. And so I just try and have a plan of things to do instead of spend money. So just come up with some of your favorite things to do, refer to that list, stick to it even if you're tempted, and that will really, really help. All right, let's face it, none of us can completely quit spending money altogether. It's just not possible. To live is to consume. You have to spend money. We need money. It's super important. But I think if we kind of get our mindset in a really, really nice place, it can be super helpful when we do end up making purchases on either the things that we really do need or even some things that we really just want. And I don't think there's anything wrong with buying something that you want. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think just being a little bit more mindful and intentional before we make a purchase, I think can really help us avoid regret and being wasteful. I have a new philosophy now since becoming more minimal, and that is quality over quantity. I've actually purchased a couple of nicer toys for my kids since becoming minimal. Since we decluttered about half of their toys that they had in their playroom, I've actually brought a couple of toys into the home that have been a little bit nicer quality. And yes, you do pay more. And so in that way, you might think, I'm not saving money, I'm actually spending more money. But if you have fewer items that are going to last you a really long time, sometimes a lifetime, and that are just perfect to pass down from child to child, you can end up saving a whole lot of money, because sometimes cheap toys just end up breaking after a few uses anyway, and there goes your money. Let me know what you guys do to help curb spending habits. Like I said, I used to be a huge consumer, redecorating with the change of every single season, buying brand new decor for every single holiday, buying just knickknacks every single place I went, filling my closet, my kids' closet, with unnecessary things. It just was a real habit, and I'm gonna be honest, it was a real problem, and in the end just didn't really fill me up. So anyway, let me know if you have any more tips that I didn't mention on how to save more money, cut down on spending, and just be a little bit more mindful in general. Thanks for watching, guys, and don't forget to hit subscribe before you leave this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.